Here with the man himself, TobiWan.
I am a man.
Yeah,
I am himself.
The caster of the grand finals.
Yeah, get to do that again this
Well,
year.
fingers crossed. Something could happen between now and then.
Yes, I could be murdered by LD.
You lost. Okay. You went straight for it.
You were baiting me for it.
I wasn't baiting anything. I was just
But
congratulating
at the same time,
you. You just went straight for
Dude,
it.
I'm happy to joke about that kind of stuff now. We sorted out all of our issues between JD and BTS.
Yeah, you guys are all friends now.
Yeah.
Contrary to what the public may think.
The public will always think different. The public always is like, oh, we need controversy. This is Dota 2. There must be a war of some scale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, there's actually no war because we just don't care.
So what made you get back here? You're back to the grand finals.
I don't know.
Put in the work.
Oh, it's funny. Like initially, I think I did. Like when I got out of, when we finished TI4, like I did a lot more work, but that was also because I was like just hungry to cast more. But as time went on, like I've actually started doing less and less casting. But when I did it, I tried to make it count. So did the best job I could.
And stylistically, would you say you're kind of the same, or have you changed?
I've actually changed a lot in the last year. I'm actually finding a way to get more hype back into my casts when I do it. Resting beforehand is very, very good. When you start doing 12-hour days and you come back the next day and then you try and make the same level of hype, you're never, ever going to achieve it. Primarily because your body just won't do it.
I see you go high octaves more now. These days. You do.
It's kind of different. It's what I've been playing around with a little bit, where I try and stay as factual as possible, but at the same time I'm letting myself go a little bit more because a year ago I was restraining myself because everyone's like too much hype.
Yeah.
And I actually thank people like OD Pixel for actually casting more because then people I actually really enjoy hype again, and actually gives me a little bit more freedom to do it without getting so much
There's always going
scrutiny.
to be someone that doesn't like what you're doing, you know. So maybe it's not the best to listen to the vocal minorities.
It's you always experiment. I'm happy to listen to. And that was, I literally lost my crap. But at the same time, I'm happy to listen to them because sometimes it just makes you try different things as a caster. There's no 100% right way. There's no one person that said, esports should be cast this way. So you experiment yourself. Someone says, I don't like this as much. You're like, okay, let me just try it without it. And then you're like, you know what? Actually, no, I can try with it, but do it in a different way, and people respond very well to it. So yeah, you can make moments out of anything, but you shouldn't make moments out of nothing. That's what I try and go with.
So your catchphrase has evolved though. Before it was the black hole stuff.
Well, that was originally, yeah. And
now it's the history of Dota stuff, right? Now we're on the history of Dota.
Hilariously enough, both were created around the same time.
Oh, really?
It's just the community picked it up because that was back at DreamHack back in
That's what the
2012.
Nature's Prophet bait, right?
Yeah, that was when Nature's Prophet died to
remember that
Roshan,
call,
and the rest of No Talent came down the hill and killed them all.
And then you have the
By the way,
armchair guys that were like, actually, my friend did that in a pub in Dota 1 back in 2000 whatever.
There was a competitive game that was in China in Warcraft 3 Dota in some Division 3 tournament.
You should have said history of Dota 2.
Yeah, sorry. When you're casting a game, you're thinking everyone's going to pick every individual word you say out. And normally, actually, I hate dealing in absolutes, mainly because I'm not a Sith. But it's this whole thing of everyone can just nail the crap out of you when you say something which you believe is fact and can easily be proven not to be.
Like pronouncing it Fada.
Yes, I've actually been changing that this tournament.
Oh, really?
Except I keep screwing myself up on it because I'm like, yeah, Fada's doing this, and then instantly I'll say Fada directly because I'm like, idiot. But I'm actually trying to change a bad habit from what's been 4 years of casting him.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's Yoku.
I didn't know that. Unfortunately, I haven't cast any Team Empire games, but I stopped saying Yoki a long time ago.
Yoki sounds better, though.
Yoki really does sound better. It's like when it was like, it's Kuroki. And you're like, man, Kuroki just sounds so childish. And then you have Kurokai. And that sounds epic. But his name is actually Kuroki.
Yeah.
Actually, it's both. He actually had no intention of being one or the other. So I just call him Kuro and avoid all the situations.
And there's AUI and AUI.
Yeah, that's a real difficult one to.
That one's it's actually AUI, right?
Yeah, it's actually AUI 2000, but I call him AUI 2000 because it's a lot easier to do at speed.
Yeah. The Chinese they call him 2000. They don't call them Maui.
Really?
Yeah, because they just call them. They have a lot of players that are just numbers.
Yeah.
Like they call Ferrari just 430. Like I know LD calls for just 430 also, and the announcers in China call them 2000. They don't call them anything else. They're just like it's 2000.
That's so lazy. That's actually legitimately lazy.
No, that's just normal because they got a lot of numbered guys.
All right, what, you want me to just call him 2000 from now on and
Yeah,
just
do
avoid
it.
the situation?
Just try it once.
No, I wouldn't. Like, I actually really love the first part of his name. I think it's awesome. Even if it's like AUI or if it's Aoi, like it's both the same.
And who do you wanna cast in the grand final?
Who do I want to cast in the grand final?
Yeah, give me a grand final. The best scenario.
The dream would be either EG or Secret versus LGD.
Oh, so you want the West versus East.
Yeah, it always makes for the biggest hype.
And you want the Chinese viewers watch.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've already seen like insane viewer numbers throughout this entire tournament, and always like Secret kind of gets the blend of both worlds. Like you get both CIS and you get Europe and America. Like they kind of adopt them anyway. That's like whenever an American team doesn't make it, you just adopt it.
Gartor's adopted American.
Yep.
Okay.
Even though he's Canadian.
He's pretty American though. The way he acts.
He's perfectly American.
He's an honorary American.
Definitely. Yeah, but then you have the Chinese, and then they all tune in, and then Southeast Asia backs them. Get EG versus Secret, it'll be interesting, but it wouldn't be like...
It wouldn't be...
Like the storyline you're searching for. Like, in my compendium, I have EG versus Secret, because that's what I thought was going to get there. But I had LGD in third, so...
And you also have West versus... The East have won 2 TIs, and West have won 2 TIs. And this one's the decider.
Hilariously enough, though, we're not meant to bring attention to this at all.
Really?
Yeah, I remember we had the conditions at TI2 and TI3 where it was very clearly stated you do not say East versus West.
Okay.
Because it created confrontation of some sorts.
But
at the same time...
That's a storyline. Like, that exists. Like, both regions are quite... I mean, it's a respectable rivalry, you know? Like, all the players like each other. It's not like... You know, in any way malicious.
The issue was we, as play-by-play people, started getting very generic.
Okay.
So we were pointing it out as like, this is East, this is West, the last American hope, the last Chinese team to be eliminated, and it became very like we actually dug a hole ourselves.
Okay.
But that's because none of us really knew, or most of us didn't know, how to create a storyline and how to balance a storyline, and none of us were talking to each other to actually create the balance of a storyline across all of the games. So one of us said it because we thought it was a really great idea, but we weren't watching the previous game, or like we wanted to say it ourselves instead of like having someone else.
So it became very repetitive, I guess.
Yeah, it became very, very repetitive. Yeah, it's like one of those cue sounds.
But there are quite stylistic differences between how the regions play. You know, like they.
Yeah, big differences.
And
a little less now, but.
Well, I mean.
But that's because everyone plays everything right now.
Yeah. The Chinese teams do play a lot more conservatively, I think, when you watch the games, and the Empire and VPs play.
So that's the hilarious thing. Like if you go back like 6 months ago, it was the opposite. China was the aggressive ones.
Yeah.
I actually had some of my I had a hell of a lot of fun casting like the ESL qualifiers, and we actually did some other smaller Chinese tournaments as well. And we had these non-stop fights around Roshan, around the Dire Ancients as well, just because it was always contesting for the huge stacks. And these fights were going for like 10 minutes straight. Because it was like, I'm going to protect these resources at all costs. And it was great. And then you could be casting a European match or an American match, and you have maybe 5 kills in the first like 30 minutes. Because everyone's like, we'll farm, timing push, big fight, and game is over. So a whole bunch of build up to one moment, and everyone's like, that game was amazing. It's like, actually, no. The last 5 minutes of that game were amazing.
But we've had quite a few crazy games this TI already. A bunch of rapiers, a lot of comebacks, crazy like wrecks, like base trades. We've had it's been if the finals anything like
I had a trip rapier game, MVP
Triple
versus
rapier,
IG,
where he got 3 people in the cleave radius.
Yes,
he instantly killed 2.
He had 3 people sitting in bottom river and went for one sleight of fist and killed them all inside the sleight of fist. It was even better when he picked up the double battle fury. This was QO, and there was a Darkseer Vac, and he brought in basically the entire team. And with a double battle fury, he killed everything, and it was a fraction of a second. There was no jump time around. It was just all dead. Yeah, that stuff.
Ember,
awesome.
what a hero! Making a revival. We didn't see Ember that much in qualifiers, and now he's.
No. Well,
everywhere.
Most people added so much pressure in the qualifiers that Ember Spirit never had any space. And now we're getting like this sort of Like the comeback mechanic's been exploited. Like EG have been doing it beautifully with Sumail. Like we saw a game where Sumail died like 5 times in 10 minutes, and then at the 15-minute mark he was topping the net worth because he came in and took 2 kills, and all of a sudden back up at number 1.
So what's your big surprise this tournament? What are you surprised about the most?
How Complexity performed. I think most people would probably flag that one up there. No one was really expecting them to do really that well. And then they came in with a really good game plan and executed it perfectly, and they're playing really well. Same with CDEC. Like CDEC are in the top of the group. They're playing really well.
Like that's what happened last time too. Liquid, remember?
I remember.
They were very close to top 8.
They were.
And they were top of the group at one point. At the end of day 3, they were very close to the top of the group. I remember that actually now that I think about it.
And they went to the bubble tournament.
Yeah, and then bad things happened.
Yes, then newbie happened.
Yeah. Well, they actually played LGD, but.
Oh, you're right. That was on the other part of the
LGD got their
bracket.
revenge for the TI3 game, but LGD looks very strong. I mean, arguably stronger than Secret right now.
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Xiao 8. He's the defending champ.
He's solid. Like the greatest thing about LGD with the games they've played so far is just every time you look at the games where they should win 2-0, he drafts solidly enough, he does so. Where teams like Secret, sometimes with their draft, there's a couple of holes you can manipulate.
I think they're
and get
experimenting.
Through. Yeah. It's group stage, and they know they're going to get through as long as you take top 2. You're pretty happy.
I mean, even if they weren't, they're not. I mean, they're going to get top 2. I think so.
Yeah,
it'll be.
Yeah, it should happen. But as long as you get top 2, you're pretty well set. You don't really care if you're picking between 3rd or 4th, unless you really have an issue with the team, and Secret don't have any issues with really any teams.
So, tell me a little bit about how Join Dota's going. What's new with Join Dota?
What's new with Join Dota? Blitz. We have Blitz with us, which is awesome. He's been with us for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
Also, Durka and KitKat came over. KitKat's taking care of all of our database stuff now, and helping out with a lot of other stuff behind the scenes. So we're actually picking up more and more people into Join Dota. We finished our new brand spanking new studio. Cost way too much money.
It's not your money.
That's not my money. It's the company's money.
And it's a nice environment for you. So what are you worried about?
No, I'm not worried about it. We're actually using it right now for a whole bunch of different games. We're doing the WCA qualifiers all through the studio.
You mean for what game? Hearthstone? Was that?
Everything like Hearthstone. They're doing a whole bunch of other things, but we'll be doing Dota 2 out of there later on this year.
And you did a little bit of CS:GO.
Yeah, I did. I did the that tournament, the one from Romania, the DreamHack tournament, which was a lot of fun.
You gonna do more?
Yes, actually. I'm actually booked to do one already, but we're gonna announce the details of that later.
Are you good at CS:GO?
I'm actually getting better. Like initially when I first
Are you better at CS:GO than you are at Dota? It's possible. That's what I'm asking. What's your rank?
I'd say I'm actually about the same.
About the same, okay.
I'd say I'm about the same. Yeah, I used to be a lot better with FPS because obviously FPS was what I played.
And what's your favorite gun?
My favorite gun?
Yeah. Do you have a drow equivalent?
A drow equivalent. I really like using the banana gun.
The banana gun. So the 5.7.
Yeah, I only ever call it the banana gun because I've got the banana skin. But I really enjoy the M4. And the M4 is probably where
Do you silence or unsilence?
Always silence.
Huh?
Always silence.
Well, some of them,
Silent
sometimes,
yet deadly.
Sometimes, I know all the pros use the silence one, but sometimes, you want to just be loud and hype.
No.
I thought that's your style,
No.
It's like silent but accurate is the one with the silencer.
Man,
loud and like you can kill more people. That's you.
Thinks I'm loud and hype, but you've been around me here. Like I'm not really that loud, and I'm not really.
I'm talking about in game.
Okay, in game. Yeah, actually, yeah, I get crazy in game. I've had noise complaints from my neighbors in game because I get really involved.
Hey, that's more respect. They respect what you do now.
Well, not really. They don't respect not being able to sleep at 2 a.m. in the morning, as I'm just screaming like a little girl.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, let's wrap this up. Let's do a summary. What's gonna happen during the bracket stage? Give me your prediction.
During the brackets?
Yeah. Give me a surprise and give me the who's gonna win.
I think Secret will win.
Okay.
I don't know exactly who will be the surprise because everything seems a little bit normal to me. I think
Cloud9.
See, Cloud9, I think will still like. I had Cloud9 at 6th position. I think they'll drop into the lower bracket. They'll fight as hard as they can, and then there'll be nothing more. Because I kind of feel like their coordination is like if they get momentum, if they feel confident against their opponent, they're absolutely amazing.
16-0. The dream.
Yeah,
the perfect game.
They 16-0'd a team which was not playing anywhere near their peak. So that's the problem. Like, and like you watch a lot of watch a lot of their games, and they're feeding a lot of kills here and there. Like that kind of stuff you can get away with when a team's not punishing you. But if you get anywhere near like the top 5, top 6, they're gonna punish you really hard. So if they can iron that out, like it's like with Cloud9, I think they could actually go all the way up to like 3rd or 4th position. But if they play perfect. If they play like the talent they have can play.
I believe. I think it'll happen.
Well, if you believe, they can take 3rd or 4th. But if you don't believe, or if you don't believe as much, you put them in 5th, 6th.
Okay. And any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to all the guys at Join Dota who work their asses off to keep that website running.
Milk?
Nah, he doesn't work. You know that.
He's watching LCS right now.
He watches LCS and plays CSGO. That's his life.
And he doesn't open knives in cases.
Yeah, he can't get anything. That's just Blitz that gets that stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Cap, making it into the main event. He's worked really hard over the last 12 months.
Actually, now that I think about it, a large percentage of the main event is your boys.
Yeah, we have Blitz, Cap, and me.
And Cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Cinderan's the rogue.
Yeah.
And we have LD and OD coming in. So yeah, we've got really nice talent at JD now. It's very comforting again, as opposed to what it used to be, which was just me.
You got some help.
Yes.
You don't have to carry as hard.
Hoping to get more help. Hoping to get more. We've got space for more casters, so.
You should bring in LD. Hire him away from BTS.
Yeah, because that's gonna happen. I remember we already tried that like 2.5, 3 years ago.
Absorb him.
No, we're not going to absorb BTS. There'll be no reason to absorb BTS anyway. You'd be throwing away a really solid brand. But no, like both LD likes being his own boss, and that's fine. That's cool.
Okay.
But we're happy to work with him.
Like, give me a call out. You got a call out?
A call out?
Yeah. You don't have any call outs? Not even Milk?
Oh, I already did that, really.
Okay, so your call out's Milk.
Yeah. We can call him out. That's fine. I did just the fact that
the time he got trapped in the bathroom.
That wasn't him, and you know it wasn't him. No matter how hard you try and spread that, we know it was Chuckles.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Toby, and try to get hype for the bracket stage. I'm sure you won't have to try very hard.
Yeah, there is really no trying. Oh, actually, then again, there will be. I have the early games every day, apart from one of them, or 2 of them actually.
All right, man. Thanks, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, man.